Hello and welcome back to Dax Electronic Repair. Today we're going to be doing an iPhone 15 broken screen. Alright, first thing we do, get our two screws on the bottom out. You'll notice this is the first iPhone that actually has a Type-C charger. Exciting, they're actually listening to the people these days, kind of. Alright, second, we're going to be getting this screen off. These ones are real tight. You need to get, I use a razor blade as you can see, and you try and get it into one of the gaps. Then you can get your plastic in there, plastic spudger in there, and open it back up. Now if you're trying to take the screen off and it's not broken, be real careful doing this because you will break these screens. They're real thin. Go all the way around. Careful not to put that in too far. You will cut ribbon cables. As you can see, it does open on the left side. They've been doing that for the last couple generations. And with this one, the first thing I like to do is take the battery out, or disconnect the battery. Unfortunately, you can't do that on these ones without taking the back off, which is broken. So, display ribbon out first. You saw we took the bracket that retains that. Now, because we are going to be doing it with a live battery, this phone is actually dead, so it has no charge on it. But make sure you use your plastic tools instead of metal. There's the top assembly for the front screen facing stuff. And both of these are they've got a retaining, like they could lever into a bracket, so there's only one screw on each one of them. So I'll show you that when we put it back together, but just one screw, two screws that come out, and you can get your screen off. Now, I like to test the new screen before we go ahead and install it forever, because if it's bad, you're wasting your time. And like I said, this one was completely dead, so I just put a charger in it. Type-C. Your lightning chargers are not going to work anymore. At least not on this guy. Alright, gave it a little bit of juice. I just wanted to see if the screen came on. It did. That was good enough for me. So, now we're going to be transferring the front-facing stuff on this one, the face flood sensor, that sort of thing. It's the ribbon cable on the top that I showed that we took off. Gonna be transferring that to the new one. Apple is really not wasting their money on extra screws these days. They used to put like a bunch of them everywhere. Now there's three. Your front facing sensor is right there. It's got one screw and it's got a bracket that levers in as well. But this one is a little bit tricky because that whole assembly right there needs to come out, and there's a bunch of circuits, all sorts of stuff in that ribbon cable, and it's very fragile. So make sure when you do it, get your heat on there. I use 100 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to loosen the adhesive and cool enough to not damage components. So there's one sensor we're getting off of here, and it's that's going to go into the new screen. But we have to take this whole big old sticker off of here. It's basically a sticker, but it's electronic sticker, we'll call it. I got to be real careful when you do this. You don't want to pry on it, and you want to get plenty of heat so it basically peels off with no issues. Because if you mess this up, it is paired to the phone, you will have issues. You cannot replace it without going through Apple or having a special machine. Alright, so again, real careful. Ribbon cable, very fragile. So, Put it on the new one. And what you really have to do is just line up our front-facing sensor. Big hand out of the way, I'll show you. New screen had a sticker on it we had to get rid of. Alright, so that sensor right there is what we really care about. So put that in first, and then you can kind of see there's little ridge marks where your the rest of that ribbon cable sticker is going to go. It doesn't super matter, just make sure it's not kinked. It doesn't have to be lined up exactly though. As long as that sensor is retained and there's not any weird angle on the cable or stress on it. So we're gonna put our retaining bracket back in with our one screw. You gotta put it down in, and then it levers down like that. Put your screw in, make sure you don't touch any of the glass where the camera stick through, or else you'll have a fingerprint camera from then on, and no one likes that. And then we go ahead and get our screen or our assembly prepped. Now, I did not take off the old gasket. It is thin enough that you can just put another one on there, and it's kind of a pain to get off of there. So I just put mine right on top of there. And you go around and pry up. Make sure your gasket adhesive sticker is not coming up as you pull the backing off of it. Be careful where you're putting your tools. Don't put it in anything electrical. That one is a electrical safe tool, so just be careful with it anyway. Alright, plug your two ribbon cables back in to their aforementioned sockets. Top one's a little tricky. You should probably put that one on first, but if you're me, you didn't, because that's just what happened. Alright, so now we just go ahead and put our brackets back on. Again, they kind of hinge in. So they kind of start in an upright position. You can see the little tab there that needs to go in. And then it'll hinge right to where you need it. So then you can just use the one screw, and then you can put your one screw back in rather. Let's adjust that a little bit. There we go. Alright, once you're hinged in, get your screw. Put her in. Same on our display. Again, they went to, and they've done this for a couple generations, the display cable is both the touch and the display. It used to be two separate cables, now it is just one. So there's been some simplifying. Alright, and then angle it from the top in first. And go around. Do not force it down. If it doesn't go, take it back off and make sure, because if you squeeze this and it's in the wrong place, you will crack it. It's very fragile. And there you go. That's how you do it. All you got to do is put your two screws in the bottom, your pentalobes, screw it back together, and you did the thing. Your brand new factory fresh. Good job. Thank you so much for checking out my video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And again, thank you for watching. I love you all.